What are the challenges that you are facing today as a creative professional, and how can you grow? Whether you're starting out in your career or have years of experience, there's always room for improvement. That's why we want to help you in your journey. Hello and welcome. I'm Chris Do, founder of a company called The Future, where our mission is to teach 1 billion creatives how to make money doing what they love. We recently partnered with Adobe for their annual Max Creativity Conference. If you're like me and you've gone to conferences like this before, you know that the magic happens when everyone is all together in the same place. During the event, we held live stream interviews with some of the most respected people in the industry and ran mini workshops to connect with people at different stages in their career. We understand that not everyone could attend Adobe Max, so we wanted to share some of that magic with you. That's why we put together our favorite highlights to bring you 10 things we learned to improve your creative career. Is there a difference between talent and having a gift? To kick things off, we'll hear Unmesh Dinda describe the difference between the two and how to harness them.
There's a difference between gifts and talents.
Okay.
A gift is something that you have. Talent is you can build it up.
I see.
And gift sets you apart from other people. So for me, my talent may be Photoshop. I have even done some music videos too. But my real gift, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, the way you said I could read it all his face.
Don't watch those.
And I did this.
That's when I realized, when I look back at my past, heck, I have taught HTML.
Yeah.
I have even taught physics. I have taught chemistry. Like, I hate those subjects, but I still taught it and people love to learn it from me. And even I look at other people who are so good at Photoshop and they can't teach. I thought to myself, teaching is indeed my gift. So if you find out what your gift is, it's very hard to find out. If you find out what your gift is and you work on your gift, it'll take you places.
Gifts and talents are very important to being a good designer. What about ideas? They're elusive. How do you know when you have a good one?
Well, let's talk about an idea. What's an idea?
Yeah, what is an idea?
It's something new
Okay.
that you will get excited about when you come up with it. And it solves the problem in a new way, in an exciting way, in a way that nobody else can do but you. The way to achieve that is to understand your own strengths, right? So you have to know who you are and you have to know what you're good at.
I like
Don't try to do things that you're not good at.
Yeah.
Okay? When you start off, you're going to have to, try some things.
Okay.
But as you go, you're going to realize what is your core competency. Do something that makes us think. Do something that engages us when we see it. Do something that people will be like, how did he think about that? Or how did she think about that?
In this next clip, we're gonna hear from 3 very different people, and they're gonna share their secret behind their success. It's to do what you love.
In my early tutorials, I was just passionate. The value that you put out into the world, I know this is something you talk about, like when you put real value out there, it's not something that gets ignored. You're not gonna go to that next place unless you really love what you're doing and the impact that you're having on people.
You have to care about being a good artist because otherwise it's not going to be evident so much. But in putting out good work, you will attract the right kind of clients. The clients that will seek people that do good work, do work with artistic value.
I like making things. That's really what I'm interested in, and I like it even more the older I am, because I find that all the things that I sort of achieve, like I can't even remember when I'm putting together a talk or a lecture and I get an idea for it, what to even show, because I forget about my old work very quickly and I'm really on to the next thing, and that's what drives me. And it's fun. If it isn't fun, it isn't worth doing.
Congratulations, you've just graduated school. Now what are you gonna do for work? Well, let's talk about how to position yourself for the job that you want.
As you are preparing to finish school, the first thing that you need to think about is, do I have a website up? Because that's what everybody's gonna ask you for. You can use one of these site builders as long as there's enough tools for you to modify a few things. Your site does not need to be tricky. In fact, if you make it too tricky, I'm not gonna use it. So follow a conventional interface, a user interface that people are used to, so that they don't have to learn how to figure out your work. And we want to get a couple of projects on there. We want to get your name. But here's the most critical thing that you need to do. You have to tell me what it is you want to be hired for. You cannot expect somebody to comb through all of your work and figure it out. Because if they have to do that, that's a pain point for them. They don't want to guess. They're going to just move on.
People hire who they know, like, and trust. Here are some great tips on how to get known.
There's only so much effort and time that can be spent solving a problem. And when you can show people that you are one of those people who can solve those problems, that is your value as an artist, as a technician, as a TD. So there's no sense in hiding that. And I would even say to people who are putting their content online on Instagram, say like, here's what I'm making. I would encourage you, make breakdowns of your scene, of your comp, show the world your ingenuity and your genius and how you think to come up with the work that you create. Because as someone who's looking for artists, there's no shortage of great looking work out there. But if there's stuff that I can tell, wow, this person really understands I can't believe the way they solved that problem. It's brilliant. That takes your art to a whole new level.
In his book, This is Marketing, Seth Godin describes marketing as the generous act of helping other people achieve their goals. You want to know what to post on social media? Start there.
Now, naturally, you're going to say, well, who do I make the content for? You don't make it for yourself. Serve an audience. And we have to move away from this idea of customers, okay, to an audience. The power, the influence, the money is here. The leverage is here. People don't understand this. When you serve other people, they tell other people organically. And other people have an ability to hire you, to give you money, to pay for a sponsored post, to give you a publishing deal. If I share something new to you today, then you'll walk away with some value. That's my goal. You have given me an investment of your time and attention. I need to return it like in a multitude, right?
When meeting with your client for the first time, it's important to gather key information. Sagi Haviv shares some essential questions that he asks many of his new clients.
The first question we always ask is, what's wrong with what you have now?
Right.
And that's
Good
something
question.
that surprising number of clients don't know how to answer. So you need to understand, you need to know that there's a need. Because some people just are not doing it for the right reason. So we really want to know that. And then we want to know about audiences. Who's the logo for? Who's going to see it? Who's the most important audience? And we want to know about competitors or peers. And we want to know about what makes them special. I think the way that the client answers these questions will help you understand how much do they think about that, how much are they comfortable in that role, what kind of partner you have on the other side.
How do you align with your client's interests? In this next clip, you're going to want to hear from design legend Paula Scher and how she's able to talk to clients and figure out what they want even when they don't know how to communicate it.
A lot of it starts before you begin designing because it has to do with your conversation with them. If you ask somebody what they're looking for in a couple of key ways, they're going to be able to tell you. And the one thing that I've done at Pentagram is we have this book of trademarks that has, I don't know, about 500 marks that we've done over the years. And particularly if there are 3 participants who are the clients or more, I give them each a book and I tell them to take, a sticky note and mark the ones they love in one color and the ones they hate in the next color. You do learn a lot from that because that tells you a bit about what kind of form they like. And if they talk about their competitors, find out how much they want to be like them and how much they want to be different from them. And that's very revealing. But these are things that give you cues on how to design something. Pretend like you have to shop for somebody else. That's a little bit of what designing from somebody else is. You got to go out and you got to get them a shirt you know they'd like. And you have to analyze everything they wore and what they always bought and what they never bought. And then you know sort of how to pick it. That's kind of what you're doing when you design.
Design is amazing, design is awesome, but it's not always the case. Here are some tips on how to get over the tough times.
Disagreements and fallouts will happen. And it's no reason to quit and go in-house just because you have one bad experience with a client. Because a lot of it's personality based.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they just, no matter what you do, are not going to like it. And you do your best to troubleshoot. This has only happened once where someone's like fully walked away, and we all just had to say, you know what, I don't think we're the right fit in the end. Like you said, you liked the style. We all agreed on this mood board, but now you're saying that like this isn't matching, even though it looks like the style mood board, you know, and we just had to agree to go separate ways. And instead of feeling like beaten and defeated, which we really did, we thought we had totally failed. And it's just like a normal part of business, is that sometimes you just aren't a personality and a style fit, even though initially we all thought we were together when we were working with this client.
You got to be the bad guy sometimes. Like, you can't be everyone's best friend. And I think a lot of designers like to work in-house because they have the producer to hide behind or the art director to hide behind. They don't like client interactions. But to me, I love client interactions. And actually, I like to put my foot down, and I like to let them know, like, hey, you hired me for a reason. Are you going to trust me or not? You can either trust me and we can make this work out great, or I can give in to you and I can give you something that I don't feel is going to work for you. And if you kind of phrase it that way, they can't really say no. You know? And so I think I'm learning to be the bad guy a little bit and to enjoy it.
Really, you're being the good. You're saying this is better for you. I'm not doing it because I like it better.
I'm being a good design parent.
This is a better
I'm being a good
decision.
parent. I'm not trying to be my kid's best friend. I'm trying to say, hey, this is what's best for you. It's broccoli. It's not cake, but sometimes you got to eat it.
We saved the best for last on advice on how to have a long and successful career that might challenge some of your assumptions.
Most of us want the opportunity to be able to try something and even fail, and that you're not really allowed to do that in your day job. You can't fail. You have to meet some standard, and you know, design is messy. I mean, to grow in it, you have to experiment. To make experiments, you're going to fail, and the thing is that failures are great because now you know what not to do. That's a really good learning thing. Knowing what not to do saves you a lot of time, but then every now and then you discover something that's possible. And that's great. That's a breakthrough. That's what you want to have happen. I think that as designers, we have a responsibility to raise the expectation of what design can be.
One thing that I feel like students can often do wrong is think that when they graduate, they're done learning. You know? Like, okay, I've finished. I've got my education. I'm an expert now, I can do this whole design thing. And it's just not the case. Like, you are constantly learning, and you shouldn't let finishing education mean you stop putting a focus on that.
My one thing is, and I always say this at the end of every video that I do, that is keep creating. That is the best advice I got, and I pass it along in every video I do. And there's a reason for it, because it applied to me as well. When I was creating videos, I didn't get any attention. I didn't get any views. Nobody recognized me. But that's what I did. I just kept creating consistently. Don't look at how many subscribers you're getting. Don't look at what kind of likes or dislikes or comments I'm getting. You just keep creating. And you know, at the end of the day, when you keep creating, you are a different person.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you learned something to help you in your creative career and left with some actionable advice for your future. We'd like to give a huge thank you to Adobe, as this would not be possible without our partnership and the opportunity to connect with you. If you want more content like this to help you as a creative individual, don't forget to subscribe to the Adobe Creative Cloud channel and check us out at The Futur. Links are below in the description. So long, and we'll see you in the future.